This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Well, and a pleasant good afternoon live from El Toro Mexican Restaurant, 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive here in Lawton, Oklahoma for our third annual, that's right, it is our third annual Media Day for high school football in the state of Oklahoma with our 13 schools, and we'll start with Southwest Oklahoma region today with the 6 schools that we'll have. We'll have some schools tomorrow representing 6 in the metro up in Oklahoma City tomorrow. But first and foremost, we want to welcome into El Toro, and we have Julia, who's going to represent us today. And Julia, tell us a little bit about what makes El Toro the best Mexican restaurant in town.
Our great service. We're very welcoming here. Our food is amazing.
What is your favorite?
My favorite are the birria tacos.
Really? What's in it?
Like shredded beef, like birria tacos. It comes with the side of beans and rice. It's really good.
What else do you offer? Do you have like special occasions, like parties that you can accommodate, anything like that?
Yes, we have party rooms available. Reservations. We have special meals on the weekends.
So good.
Yes.
All right. Well, and we appreciate you guys hosting. You can come see Julie. You can see the fine people here that have represented great Mexican taste. 1320 Northwest Homestead. It's right off of Cash Road, kind of behind McAllister's and Long John Silver's, if you can kind of get a little area of kind of where we're at. But we've got Joey Goodman from the Lawton Constitution. Hopefully we'll get Channel 7 coming up here from KSWO to give us a little bit of live presentation. But we've got most of our teams in the house. That's right. We're going to go right down the list of 3 Lawton schools, plus we got Cash and Elgin, and it's all right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
All right, we're back live at 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive, which is El Toro Mexican Restaurant and Bar, host of our 3rd annual Media Day. And up first, we'll have with the MacArthur Highlanders and Coach Brett Manning, and we've got Josh and Austin with us. In fact, we'll talk a little bit about them here in a second, about them getting the accolades of being in the top 30 high school recruits in the state of Oklahoma. That's quite an impressive feat, with 2 gentlemen that you've seen since sophomores as starters getting up to this point. But I know you just got done with your senior, and I want to talk a little bit about that first. This is something you started how long ago, was the seniors?
This was our 10th year to go.
10th year.
Yeah.
So for the 10 years that we've had it here in the state of Oklahoma, on the OSN. You guys have done the senior. Tell us about how that got started, why you liked it, and why you continue to do so.
Well, it got started from just talking to other coaches about some stuff they do with their seniors, and we thought thought it was a really good idea. Get out of town for a couple of nights and stay somewhere and do activities, have team bonding, and a little bit of relaxation. I don't know if you could call it that, because they didn't. This group didn't relax a whole lot. They played games and had fun the entire time. But just a good bonding experience for the seniors. It's something that these underclassmen get to hear about for 4 years, and then eventually it's their turn, and I think it's something that they look forward to, and we always have a great time. It's always a success.
How many seniors did you have this year?
We took 21.
21.
Yeah.
Is that kind of on the high end for your classes?
Yeah, it is. I think last year we had 24 maybe, but we're typically somewhere in between maybe 24 and 17, 18.
Okay, and I know other guys have other questions, so I don't want to take the whole time, because I know we got Joey Goodman from the Law and Constitution. We got Channel 7 here as well. You got scrimmages coming up. I know you'll have one, Carl Albert, soon right before the season starts. What do you want to see after spring ball to get to where you are? What do you want to see most from this team early so that you can start your season?
Obviously, just improvement, and that's what we want to see in camp, because we do spring ball, and then we want to see that we were better after the camp than we were during spring ball, and then go back and make those corrections, fix some stuff, change some personnel maybe, and get to the scrimmage and see if we have made improvement, if we have made good changes, whether it's personnel or scheme or whatever. But this is a fun group. This is a really good senior class that a lot of them have been playing. These two guys, since they were the last part of their freshman year, they started the last few games, and it's a fun class. It's a really good group of kids. They work really hard, and just want to see improvement from spring ball to camp to our first scrimmage.
All right, I'm going to hold off for the players, and I'll let Joey and maybe them ask Coach any kind of questions you have.
Great offensive line. It's always key. It's a really good, solid offensive line. You got some size. You got guys that play, some new guys. Talk a little bit about your line.
Our offensive line, was a big question mark, because we lost a lot. We lost 4 of the 5 starters, but we also lost 8 of the top 10. I mean, even a lot of our backups were seniors, but it's a group that has come together really well. We've got Walter Rhodes coming back. He's the only returning starter, but we've got some guys that have really filled in well. And we started off thinking, oh my gosh, what are we going to do offensive line wise? And through spring ball and camp, now we're kind of maybe at one of our strengths of our team maybe, and they're working hard and doing a good job, and they know they've got big shoes to fill, and they've stepped up and had a great spring ball and had a good camp, and have worked really hard this summer.
Obviously, you guys gone through summer pride, lifting, everything like that. What's the biggest improvement you've seen since the start of spring ball?
Summer pride is just lifting and conditioning, so it's not really hard to compare it to spring ball. I will say that our summer pride is pretty tough, and we ask these kids to do some things that a lot of times I'm impressed they can do it, just physically. The number of sprints we do and all of that, but they worked really hard through spring ball, and I think they've improved their bodies. I think we're in really good shape, which playing week 0 you really need to be, because it's really hot and you don't have a whole lot of practice time as opposed to playing week 1.
You guys are always playoff contenders. What's your main goal this year, and what would you define as a success when everything's all said and done?
We've got high expectations. We always have high expectations. We want to get back to where we think we belong, which is at the very top of our district, the district championship, and making that deep playoff run. These guys are they picked a motto over our senior retreat: get back. And that just means, we want to get back to where we think we should be. And these guys are dedicated and set on doing that.
My question for Josh. Josh, you're a senior now. Looking back at your sophomore start, you're committed to Tulsa. What does it mean to be in the top 30 out of all the high schools, the top 30 of recruits going to the next level? What does that do for your play, and what does it say about what you've accomplished?
I mean, I just had to put in the grace of God. Like, God did that for me. I just put my head down and worked for it, and it just so happened to come true. My dream came true. So, that's all God right there. And yeah.
What did you want to do this year to improve, to be the best receiver that you can be?
I feel like really just me being a better teammate on the field, staying composed, everyone just staying a positive teammate on the field.
Adam, I'm going to ask you the same thing. To be in that, you're a brotherhood. Of the 13 schools on OSN, out of the 30 top watched on the daily Oklahoman, 2 of them are sitting right here, and you guys are next to each other, and the one is from Del City. That's quite a feat that says about what your work ethic is. You're committed to Arkansas. I know you were early commit on that. So talk a little bit about what you want out of this season.
I just want us to have a great and complete season. All of us have worked hard throughout spring ball and summer pride, and I just think this season is going to be a great season.
You've been making big plays since you were freshman and sophomore. What do you have to do better individually? What side of the ball do you think you can bigger impact? Defensively, is that what they want to play in college?
Yes, sir. They want to play me on defense in college. Yes, sir.
What do you have to do better yourself?
I would say I need to be more of a leader and just uphold my teammates and make everybody feel accountable.
For both of y'all are one of the best players in the state. For you two specifically, what do you guys have to do to get over that playoff hump or win a couple playoff games or make it in the state title?
That's just a team thing. If we make mistakes going into games, sometimes we're going into weeks not locked in. We just got to all come together as a team and get over that hump together. And we just got to lead that pack and be brothers all through it.
Yeah, kind of like what Josh said. We just got to make sure the team knows this is a long season. It's a lot of games, tough, and make sure we all stay together and stay composed throughout the season.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys. I know that you got a little bit of a change in the district that you had to get used to last year. I think you've got your feet under you with a Bishop McGuinness and a Newcastle, and so kind of changes the complexity that we've always talked about, and that district never seemed to change. You had the Duncan, Ardmore, MacArthur, so kind of new, fresh blood in it, and best of luck to you for this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
All right, the MacArthur Highlanders at our media day as it'll continue at El Toro, a Mexican restaurant at 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive. We'll be back with another team as our media day continues right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Arvest Bank, we believe home ownership makes families and communities stronger. Whether it's your first home, a fixer-upper, or your forever home, we're here to help put home ownership within reach. Because everyone deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
All right, welcome back to our third annual Media Day. Excited to say that this is broken up in 2 sections. We have our teams from Southwest Oklahoma and the Southwest region today, and we'll cover most of this except for Altus. They already had a prior commitment, so we are missing the Bulldogs today, but we get most of them in the house. And then tomorrow we'll have the 6 up in the metro area with Midwest City, Del City, Carl Albert, Bethany, Jones, and Newcastle, and that will be tomorrow at 3 o'clock up at Buffalo Wild Wings in Del City. But we're here at El Toro Mexican Restaurant, the Elgin Owls, coming off of their first state title. And I don't know, does that ever go away? I know coaches say it's on to the next, and this is the next year. But the rings came in. I saw those. What a great accomplishment. Anything else that you want to say left over from last year?
Just something that we built from the ground up in 2019, and to see that there's proof in the pudding to get it done. The formula's there. That was the biggest thing. And then with another great group coming through, with a lot of great experience, we're looking to build on that.
Obviously, you have one of the best offensive lines in Southwest Oklahoma, one of the best I've ever seen. What's going to be the composition? That's going to be a big part of your search here early in the season?
Yeah, I think from last year to this year, last year was a great group on the offensive line, but something that really stuck out to us starting with spring ball was the guys that were, next up. They had, 5 more weeks of football to prepare, and when we took over in spring ball with the new group, it was just a new group that was doing a lot of the right things early. And we had a good showing with that unit at spring camp, and we've got some size coming back. We lost some size, but we have some size and some strength. Some guys that are kind of waiting their turn on the offensive line, and that's been good to see, because that's, I think, a lot of people's questions is what's the offensive line going to look like. But we're led by, we were going to start 3 seniors and then 2 returners probably. So I think we're in a good spot there with a lot of guys that know our scheme, that have been doing it for a long time.
Obviously, Trace now out the door. How hard is that kind of leading up to this season? What's the point you're starting to do that?
Yeah, it's he's been doing it for a long time, kind of all we know. But Caden has been the backup for 3 years now, and learned a lot from him. And Caden's got a unique skill set it's different than Trace's, and he's got a lot of playmakers around him that will make him better as well. And it's exciting to watch him get his turn finally, and a kid that can make some plays and get the ball out. And so it'd be different for sure, but we're excited for him as well.
Oh, yeah, 100%. We just got to be physical, man. We got a good brotherhood going. I mean, play with these guys this whole ever since I came to Elgin in 6th grade. And it's just those guys that left us were really good. But we got a different team, and, I mean, we're just state championships to go 100%.
Yeah, for sure. The standard stays the same. Like last year, we were set on winning it all. This year, we're still set on winning it all. Nothing changed. It's just new guys going out there and just competing together and doing it again this year.
One for Mr. Ritzenmeyer is that, you had a lot of seniors leave. We just talked about Trace Laura, 4 years. You have offensive linemen that leave. You're the kind of go-to guy to look up these underclassmen. How do you want to really best put your foot forward as a senior, and what kind of leadership are you expected to show?
I would say a lot of people kind of lean on me, so just like giving them a good role model kind of thing. I mean, work hard in the weight room, finish through the line, all that good stuff. But our guys coming up, they're ready. I mean, they've been putting in the work. They're gonna be physical, and I'm ready for the season to get kicked off.
Tell me, who are some of the names of players that you've been impressed with, guys that you think will step up and be a big part of this house team? Who are some of the names we might be hearing from you guys?
Definitely Caden Boleto. I think he's the quarterback. I think he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be really good. He can run it. He can throw on the run. He's athletic. He can do a lot of things. And then Casey Meyer, he's a receiver. I think he had the most receptions on our team last year. He's just another key piece to our offense. I think we'll be hearing more of his name called on this year, like a bigger role, if you would say. And then Braxton and Tuna, he's running back. He's going to get a lot of carries. He's going to be good. I like all our line that's still stepping up coming this year. I think they're all going to like we lost a good line last year, a great line. I think this line will surprise a lot of people and still get the job done.
One more for Coach. I want to ask you about the new state law about bell-to-bell with phones. And I talked to coaches about your main communication. Like practice has been changed. That's immediate texted out. How much do you see? And coaches are always in the forefront of having to ride with the curve and kind of think out of the box. And how are you going to do that? What is that going to change for you, the complexity of communication for the athletic student from bell to bell?
Yeah, it's a change. It makes me think of how it used to be, right, when we were writing scouting reports on paper and handing those out to the kids, and they can look at them throughout the day. In the last few years, we would have our install or whatever it is, and we would shoot that out on our device. So it's different. We're going to have our teachers' meetings on Monday and figure out kind of what that looks like. Our administrators will tell us that, and I've kind of already laid it out to our guys that it's going to be different. We're going to have to make adjustments to that. It will be a big adjustment, but, the main thing I told them, like, we can't jeopardize Friday night because we're getting our phone out, whatever that looks like with our punishment.
Right.
But, they're going to have to find some crossword puzzles or something to do in their meantime.
Okay. And then one other thing that I want to say that, you had spring and then you get the summer workouts and then you get your scrimmages. Because of the newness of, we talked about offensive line, new change of quarterback, what do you want to see most out of the scrimmage that you say, okay, I want to see how to identify this team with? What do you want to look out in this first scrimmage, what you want to get out from?
Yeah, I think, starting on defense, we want to see our guys fly around to the football. We'll look different defensively, but I think that, the sharper we are, we're still going to, smother the football and get 7-11 hats there and take good angles and those things. But new guys on that side of the ball, but a lot of more athleticism on that side of the ball. And I think that can be, to your advantage, especially with the style that we play. So I'm excited for that. Offensively, just, some new pieces around. Offensively, we bring back a lot of our production. A lot of scoring comes back. These two guys were our leading scorers last year offensively, getting in the end zone. So, a lot of people don't, think about that. But production comes back. And we've got some more weapons out wide where maybe we were more straight at you last year, but we're going to be able to kind of use some more guys as guys step up and, distribute the ball accordingly. And just a new team, like I'm excited to see what it looks like after our scrimmage. I'm excited to see what adversity looks like for us. And that's something we've been harping on with these guys is on our mentality Mondays this summer is, what are we going to do when things don't go our way? Because, last year everything went our way, right? But I think the experience that our group has this year can pay dividends towards those things. We get to practice for 2 weeks and get that scrimmage under our belt. Will be big to see who we are and how we want to do it this year.
All right, defending state champions, the Elgin Owls, looking to try to repeat as they get back to work in Class 4A. So we've got more to talk to as we talk to the MacArthur Highlanders, now the Elgin Owls here at El Toro Mexican Restaurant here at 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive. We'll be back with more teams, more coaches, more players right here on our third annual Media Day on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Landmarks. They stand as symbols, reminding us of history and moments that shape our lives. We create our own landmarks. At Becker Raybon Funeral Home, we understand the importance of honoring these moments. Let our compassionate team help you celebrate the life and legacy of your loved one. Offering a range of services to honor the stories that matter most, we believe that every life leaves a mark that deserves to be cherished and remembered. Becker Raybon Funeral Home, honoring the landmarks of your life.
Well, kind of shows you a little rundown of all 13 schools on the Oklahoma Sports Network, plus OSN 1 and our OSN channel. This is our third annual Southwest Oklahoma Media Day, and we want to include you in at El Toro Mexican Restaurant at 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive, the best Mexican restaurant in town, bar none. So make sure you load up with chips and salsa and get your favorite dish as they hand out that menu and get you the greatest service around. The Eisenhower Eagles are up next, and we got to introduce a brand new coach to our neck of the woods. And why don't you kind of start out with giving us a little background of where you came from, what motivates you, and how you took this position?
Well, I came from Houston, Texas, born and raised in Houston, Texas. Been everywhere in Texas, coached, recently coached in Wichita Falls, won 2 state championships at DeSoto, back-to-back. What brought me out here to Oklahoma was just to inspire young men and get them where they need to go. And being in Texas, it's fast-paced for us in recruiting aspects, so I'm trying to bring a little bit of that out here.
Everything's bigger in Texas,
no
including
doubt,
their
doubt.
stands and everything else like that.
doubt.
2 championships. How do you take that 2 championships with DeSoto to bring that kind of mentality and that experience here into this job?
Well, it just come with a whole bunch of discipline and focus, and then just respecting everybody's craft, that being coaches, administration, and also kids that are bringing in and developing.
How has the Eisenhower family, meaning the players, how have they responded with the change? Because anytime you get a coach that leaves, you've got to reintroduce yourself, you've got to walk the halls, you've got to talk to them. How has been the response for you in that?
Oh, no doubt. Well, when you come into anything new, you got to put your print on it. So we're starting off with a lot of young kids or whatever. We're turning 11 seniors. So I got a little bit of Springer from last year. Mike Robinson, Ezekiel. So that's going to be a big help with that and building this foundation. So it's going to change. Something is going to change a lot for us, this one aspect, but we're going to get together and we're going to make an imprint on Oklahoma football.
Well, obviously, you got new players, new coaches, all that stuff. What's been the biggest thing that you had to adjust to thus far, getting ready to start practice Monday?
Man.
So many changes.
Yes, it is.
You're just trying to get guys there, right?
No doubt, no doubt. I guess the biggest change when I first came in was the spring practices. Like, just practicing after when school was let out, and then having the camps and everything like that. That's a new world for me, because when in Texas, practice spring ball just with ourselves, and with that, it was just by not seeing new faces that would come around and stuff like that. So when they come in the door, it's somebody new every day. And with that, I loved it because I love seeing smiling faces in there. And at the end of the day, it's just football. You teaching kids a craft of getting out there and working hard. So that paid dividends in life.
So when you hit the field Monday morning, how many guys you think you'll have out there?
A lot. A lot. If I had to put a number, it's over 70.
I haven't seen you since the start of spring ball.
Yes, sir.
What's your first impression of your team so far? I mean, a little bit of spring, summer pride. What are you thinking so far?
Man, a lot of young minds eager to learn. They are eager to learn some football, and I tell you that, very hard working. They put their caps on every day. I always tell them the first superpower to a human being is paying attention. When they wake up in the morning, they always got to pay attention to everything that's going on around them, and that translates to on the field when you're being coached by your position coaches and everything like that. Is paying attention.
Going into week 0, what kind of impression do you want to leave on that first game? Why do fans see it?
Well, I just want them to see a change. I just want them to see a change from last year's team and the dedication that these kids put in. Like I said, we're starting off young, so we're going to have these kids for 3 years plus. So I just, want to see the community look at our change that we made within the program, and we'll go from there.
For y'all too, obviously the Rocky City games hold a lot of weight. How do you guys kind of make that shift against MacArthur and end up beating them and then holding the opponent against Rock High and beating them again this year? What are your thoughts on the 2 city games?
It's no pressure, just going out there to do business for real. Just having a good game, got a new coach, Coach Matthews. He's a great coach. got a bunch of coaching staffs and all that. We're not focused about them. We just trying to get to the playoffs.
Like what Zeke said, we're not really worried about LHS or MAC. We're worried about district.
Are you guys both seniors?
No, I'm a senior. He's a junior.
No, sir, I'm a junior.
So you guys have got to be leaders, though. If you're here today, he's probably thinking you're leaders. What are you going to do to lead this team with a bunch of like new coaches and new players? What are you going to do? Vocal? Just get out there, play hard? How do you all lead?
You can't really be a vocal leader to lead. You have to show everybody what it takes to actually be on the field, and like what it takes to work hard.
Question about in the classes that you have in Texas, and you kind of familiarize with it. You're the only one represented in 6A2 in this region right here.
Right.
And it's kind of gone back and forth. Lawton High was there. They dropped to 5A and stuff. What have you known that you had to learn fast about, okay, yeah, there's the 5A ranks, but this is 6A2 before you get into 6A1? Anything that jumps out at you that you had to learn about this district that you're heading into?
Man, I just came back from a great coaching school in Tulsa. And, sitting down with the referees and knowing the rules, the new rules that I have to go by. Being that the 5 umps, and we had an ump that was over the ball, and so that's going to play dividends in our offense and how we operate, because he told me that the ump is standing behind the ball now, and they just follow the ball. So that's going to pay a lot of dividends in our offense. But when it comes to the divisions and everything like that, and getting to that upper ranks and being in the playoffs, it's just, who got the Joes, who inspired the Joes. You can draw up on the board anything you want or whatever, but who's going to have the Joes, though? And if you inspire Joes, which is these players sitting up here or whatever, then I think you can play any division.
One thing that I know in Texas rule as far as Oklahoma, and when you talked about having the rules, I didn't even think about that, about how you had to re-educate yourself, like being able to take it out of the end zone for a kickoff, and it's touchback in Oklahoma. Do you like it where you can return that way in Texas style, or are you going to have to adjust to that with this?
Man, well, I mean, it depends on who you have back there. Like if it's somebody thrilling that I want to see take it out, yeah. But if it's play it safe and get the plays in, or whatever like that, I really want to see my offense go at the end of the day. But one rule stood out to me, the hurdling or whatever, that stood out to me, so I had to get some clarification on that. I was like, so if you jump over a play, do you get flags for it?
Right.
Or whatever. So, I mean, it cleared up. It's discretionary.
Texas has chop blocks too, right? That is,
right.
It's available and it's not here.
Oh,
no. I understand that. So that's, you got to what kind of style offense do you think you're going to bring without bringing down X's and O's? Are you more of a run-pass combination? What kind of offense do you think the Eisenhower Eagle fans are ready to see?
I would like to be 50-50 in everything, but it's gonna be fast tempo. It's gonna have we're gonna be disciplined for one. We're gonna be disciplined for one, and we're gonna dictate what that defense do.
All right. Okay, Eisenhower Eagles, part of our third annual media day, and best of luck to them. We had 2 of the Lawton schools already in. We'll still hear from Lawton High, and we've got Cash and we've got Walters to talk about. Glad that you could be here for 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive for our 3rd annual Mexican restaurant bar, El Toro. I want to thank Joey Goodman from the Lawton Constitution and Mr. Wicks from Channel 7 representing the media for our media day. We'll take a time out briefly and come back to more teams, coaches, and players right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Memorial Medical Group's orthopedic specialists are the most experienced team in Southwest Oklahoma. Our orthopedic surgeons are trained to diagnose and treat shoulder, knee, hip, hand, and foot conditions, as well as orthopedic trauma, sports, or work-related injuries. And they're the only ones in the area to offer Mako robotic-assisted surgery for knee and hip replacement. When you need bone and joint help, trust MMG Orthopedics to get you back to living your best life.
All right, if that doesn't get you pumped up about football, I don't know what will. And we're going to bring it to you live. Home and away games, all regular season and playoffs on the Oklahoma Sports Network for 13 schools. And we're here at our third annual Southwest Oklahoma Media Day, where we've got most of our representation except for Altus. They had a full commitment. I've got to thank Coach Thompson for allowing us, when I had the group text out, Cash, you got something, and we'll talk about what you have tonight planned for the whole Cash family, and you weren't going to make a 6 o'clock time, and Elgin had something as well, and I said, well, if we move the time, will that work? And you were able to accommodate, so I appreciate you. Boy, you brought the crew. You brought the house, I guess.
For sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Coach Tanner Thompson, you probably got your feet underneath you from that first year. Reflecting back, what did you learn the most from last year?
You go back and you kind of look at kind of the big picture of how last season went as a whole, and there was just a lot of different things that, if I would have knew what I knew at the end of the season, I would have done it differently, and it's just going forward. I mean, I knew we needed to make some changes in different areas, and one of them was our staff, and then also we needed to do some things differently, offensively, defensively, to better suit our players, and then. A big thing I think that we changed that is going to make a huge impact is what we do in the weight room and on our speed work on the field, and that's played a big impact already. You can see it with our kids, and so I think Coach Josh Poway, our sports performance director, he's done a great job with that. So
I mentioned tonight. Why don't you mention what you got going tonight? You got something?
Oh yeah. We have our athletics department's putting on a back at it bash for our community. It's basically just come and meet the Bulldogs, and our football team will be there. It's all the fall sports of volleyball, softball, cross country, all these sports will be there, and just really it's just interacting with the community, basically telling them thank you for supporting us and the way they do. And then after that, we'll walk right over and we have our Night of Champions, to where it's basically like a little showcase and just showing, letting our kids go out there and perform. It's you got power cleans. So we'll get to see that. I'm excited for that because I think we're going to have a record number of kids power clean 225 and maybe get 1 to 300. And then we're going to do, the miles per hour. We'll do some time flies and some competition 40s, and it's going to be a good deal. Last year it went really well, and I'm excited this year just because of kind of the gains we made in the weight room and on the field. So. Right, it just creates excitement going forward in the future. We talk about it all the time. I think we're building something really special here at Cash. And I told our seniors last year, I said, you're not going to see the full fruition of what you started. And, going forward, you can feel the excitement. These seniors they've done a great job of, working hard this offseason, but you can kind of start feeling the excitement of what's to come. And that's starting this year, going forward into this season and in the future. We've kind of started working with our Little League program as well, and, it's pretty cool to get to see, guys like Case and Zach and these different guys down there on the field with the Little League, how current Bulldogs are impacting future Bulldogs, and then you see the field house being built up on the hill, and it's kind of starting a legacy and continuing to develop our program going forward. And like I said, we just feel like special things are ahead going forward.
Obviously, you're a defensive guy. You got to go back and look at some of the video from last year and see if you can correct down some things. What does your defense have to do better overall?
Yeah, it all starts, number one, with stopping the run, and that's priority. But the big thing I think we didn't do a good job of last year is taking away the explosive plays, especially in the secondary. And like I said, a lot of it, we had to go back and change things that better fit our kids. That was just on us coaches last year. I felt like we weren't doing things that fit our kids as well as it could have. And this year, I think the defense we're going to be running, I believe it suits our kids, and it's going to allow them to go out there and play. It's going to be simple. It's going to allow them to play fast and let them showcase their talents and put them in better positions to make plays.
Coach, you touched on those big off-season changes. How have you prepared differently this year than you have from last year?
Well, yeah, I think it starts with you actually have an off season. Last year when I got the job, it was basically June, and it's like, okay, I mean, really, it just I felt like I never could catch up, and you just kind of go. We got together as a staff, and we talked about the changes we wanted to make, and we made them, and it started January 1st, and I felt like we built the culture. Kind of the culture we wanted, the standard that we're going to have going forward. And, I mean, it's going to be tough, but at the end it's going to be worth it. And we're going to do things to be a part of something bigger than just ourselves. We're working towards that. And then, you have the scheme part of it where we're going to change. We're going to do this. We're going to do that offensively. But everything we do is we wanted to be a program that's going to help develop the kids we have in our program and help them be successful. And that's what we did all offseason. So.
Well, down there's our middle linebacker, and I got our quarterback here, Zach Abbott. This is our starting running back, Mario Famero. One of our big guys up front, Alvin McKinney, and then one of our guys on the outside, Michael Coleman. And I play also up front. I'm Braxton Jackson.
Mr. Abbott, I want to get to you about you got this in the family. How does that have? Is it kind of a coaching when you get home? How does that look as far as you grew up with this your whole life, and now you're at the helm, taking the snaps under center. What's that going to be like to kind of balance the two?
It's hard. People don't realize what goes through. Not even just like in the weight room. Everybody don't see what I do at home, and they don't see how I get coached by my brother at home. He teaches me, does all this other stuff, extra stuff to make me be successful in what I do and what he does.
Do you think that motivates you more, or because of that, or does that make it a little different? How do you handle that?
I mean, it motivates me a lot, but it's tough having people there around me, your whole entire family, and just. It does motivate me.
You grew up with it. This is all you know. What would you like to have this team improve? Going forward, you're taking the helm of something that you're kind of been made for. How would you like to see that unfold this year, and what would you like to see this team accomplish?
I mean, I'd like to see our team accomplish every goal that we have set for each other. We all start. We had a bonding event earlier this past week or so. We all made goals for each other, like stats-wise, team-wise, and vision, what we have for the year. I just want everybody's goals to be complete for every single body.
You really see that this is really kind of a family? You get that family mentality out of this team?
Yeah, way more than last year. We have more like of a culture between each other. We've grown up together. We've played football together like our whole entire lives, so we've pretty much know like each other, and we're friends and stuff.
Grab the mic here, and you can say he talked about this coming together with that, with that camaraderie that you have. These more and more teams are doing that. Do you think that makes a better connection when you have those kind of events?
Yes, I do. Growing that connection is really important, especially for football, because it's such a big team sport. It's not like wrestling or anything like that where it's just one-on-one. I mean, you've got 11 guys on the field who all have to do their job so that everyone else can be successful on the team.
Okay, I used to say this just kind of a heartedly kind of a comment, but if there's a game that you've circled on the calendar of that whole – everybody, when you follow a team, there's one team that game you just can't wait. I know you got to play the next one up, but what have you circled on the calendar that is meaningful to you and why?
It's probably for sure going to be Altus for me, just because last year was the first year we had the the Southwest Showdown, the dogfight.
Oh yeah, they had
and we lost
hardware
it.
for that.
Yeah, and then we lost it. And it just did not sit right for me.
Well, this year they're coming to your place though.
Yes, sir, they are.
So you get a little bit of payback, and that game went back and forth right to the end. That wasn't decided till then. So that's the one that you circled. That's early on too. That'll be an early on game for you to decide.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll get everybody out of the mic. What did you want to do to come into this season to improve on your game personally?
Me personally, I really just want to elevate my teammates more, personally, because I feel like I didn't do a really good job on that last year. I really was like playing for myself, kind of.
And we got the guy in the headset. We don't think we talked to you at all. So what does it mean for you to be a Bulldog?
I feel like it's like having like a big target on your back, just knowing like
even in school or like outside, just knowing like you're looked up to a little bit more. Like everyone is seeing you. You're just like, you have a different name. You have a different meaning. You're just like seen as just a little bit more. You always have it.
Well, and Coach mentioned tonight the big thing, and he mentioned the programs. And you talk about Clinton. You talk about other communities that build from the youth on up. How do you take that role as being a mentor for these little ones that are going to come and see you today in your jerseys and kind of look up to you? How do you take into that role for tonight?
I enjoy doing it because I feel like some of those kids, like, they have those role models, but I feel like when it's really like whether one of the football players or one of the athletes at the school, I feel like it means a lot more because like just talking to one of those kids just can make their day and just really just change how they like sports or just certain aspects.
All right, so that's Cash Bulldogs, and we want to thank them for fitting us in the schedule because Coach Thompson says, hey, I'm not available. We got a big thing tonight. So if you're in Cash and you're a part of the Cash Bulldog family, they'd like to see you tonight for their big inning. What time does that start?
So the back at it bash, our athletics starts at 6, and our night of champions goes from 8 to 10.
Okay, all right. So a full night of festivities out at Cash. We still got the Walters Blue Devils, and we've got the Lawton High Wolverines as we continue on 3rd annual Media Day here at El Toro Mexican Restaurant, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
The heart of Oklahoma, where your home isn't just a place, it's your peace. At Century Roofing, we understand the importance of protecting your peace. We're experts in roofing technology, techniques, and customer service because we care about Oklahoma and we care about you. At Century Roofing, we combine quality craftsmanship and exceptional service because your home deserves the best. Century Roofing, staying on guard for Oklahoma.
All right, so here we're back at El Toro for our 3rd annual Media Day, and it's kind of quieted down. You get rid of all the players and stuff like that. I can hear myself think. I'm not in the high school cafeteria mode, but I can understand how loud that can get. Walters Blue Devils are up next here, part of our Media Day here at Southwest Oklahoma Region. Glad you could join us. I want to thank El Toro for sponsoring us today. That is great. They made a great host, and they had some great appetizers. I wish I could have dove into those, but get your hands and mouth clear of the entry level of when they were taking down those nachos and those loaded fries, but you can come load up yourself here at El Toro. Walters Blue Devils, Coach Griffin, we'll talk about your transition. We've had a lot of transitions, Coach, coming in new. You had the switch over to the Walters Blue Devils where you had a lot of familiarity with that program. You had an incredible senior class laden with a lot of talent. Now they've exited. So as high school coaches know, they're not like on NFL contracts who are going to extend their season to be with us. They're here for only a short stem. So what have you seen for these underclassmen? What do you look at? What is the forecast for this year for Walters?
Well, I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. You know, a lot of people think because we graduated 16 seniors that we're going to be down and out. But, you know, we've got some returners coming back that started and are talented. We got some kids that have come out that hadn't played in a few years. The experience that they lack may hurt us early, but they're talented, and I think it's going to be good for us down the stretch. Like I told our kids at Camp Washua the other night, I told them we're going to shock a lot of people, and I think people at the end of the year are going to be saying how'd they do that whenever we get to that point. One of the things that I've really noticed about this group of kids is that throughout the summer, as we went through Summer Pride, I see them building chemistry and bonds and watched it up at Camp Washua, and they're a pretty tight-knit group, and when you get kids that have good chemistry like that, they play well together. So I'm excited about a lot of things. There are certain areas where I don't think we're going to drop off in talent. The big question mark is going to be up front because we lost all of our linemen that started, but the kids that we've got replacing them, I'm pretty excited about.
You mentioned camp, and I want, a lot of coaches have talked about these bonding opportunities. What do you think is the best that you get out of these camp experiences?
Well, I think just allowing them to get up there in the mountains away from everyone else and put their cell phones away and just enjoy each other, enjoy the camp. They played basketball together up there, volleyball. They went fishing, they went swimming, they were hiking. It's just the experience that they get to have being around each other, getting to know one another on a more personal level. You go to school sometimes with people and you never get to really know them on a personal level. And up at camp, I think they get that opportunity to spend a good 24 hours with each other and doing fun things and enjoying life together. And they form bonds. And every year that kids graduate, they always tell me they look back and say, man, I had such great memories up there at that camp, and me and so-and-so got close. And, so it's always been a good thing, and it's something that I've enjoyed doing for them.
Obviously, I don't know when you all start school. Do you start school Monday, too?
We start school Monday.
Going one early in the morning?
Well, I've always had two-a-days, and we're not going to be able to do that because of our teachers' meetings starting on the same day. We start school next Thursday, but we have teachers' meetings starting Monday. So we're going to go in the evening. I prefer the evening because it's closer to the time of when we play games, and so the heat thing, I want our kids to get as used to that as possible as they can. So I've always preferred to go evening more than morning just simply because that's more relevant to the time of the games that we play. Okay, well, these are the two of the three returning starters that we have, and the only two returning senior starters. Ryder Hansen here, he's actually made transition from offensive tackle to tight end this year, where he's going to serve us, and he's going to have a big role to fill. He's going to play middle linebacker. He was a backup at linebacker last year, but he's going to be the starter at middle linebacker this year. But returning as an offensive starter at tight end, one of our leaders and one of our most dependable guys. B.J. Palmer got a lot of recognition last year, but believe it or not, he was not the fastest guy on the team.
Wow.
Gage Sampson was the fastest guy on the team, and he's still the fastest guy on the team. And I told
guess who's getting the ball?
That's exactly right. I was telling his dad at our parents' meeting that night, I said, boy, I sure hope you have Gage ready because he's going to carry that mail a lot for us this year.
Yeah.
He played defensive back, started for us, and was actually BJ's backup on offense last year and got a lot of playing time on offense last year. So I'm excited about these two guys. And like I said, they're two of our senior leaders. We've got 7 seniors this year. And these two guys are returning starters, and I've been asking them to put a lot of the load on their shoulders. I told them back in the winter, I said, look, get some of these guys out. We have some basketball players and some stuff they were friends with, and they got them out for football, and it's been beneficial.
Coach, you mentioned the whole new offensive line. Obviously, you guys are figuring out running the ball. How's that adjustment like, kind of breaking in a new offensive line? And have you made any scheme changes from last year?
Well, every year. I mean, your philosophy stays the same, and, yeah, we're still going to be the pop offense, but what people need to learn is every year at the high school level to have success, you have to change what you do and to fit your kids and to fit your talents. And, yeah, we're going to be doing some things different than we did last year. We're still going to run the jet sweep. We're still going to run some of the things we did. But at the same time, we have to make adjustments according to personnel. There's a reason I moved him to tight end. Because he's going to be the attack point at a lot of times whenever we're on offense. So, we're going to look the same to some people, but people that know football, they're going to notice a difference.
For you two, you guys, the two senior leaders, essentially, what are you teaching the younger guys who maybe haven't as many snaps as you guys have had? Like, what's that like? Just being like, hey, helping them understand the plays, and what's like the whole background of that?
Well, as a lineman, I know more about that than kids coming up. So I'll tell them, we just have our rules for every play. So once you learn those, it's just easier to learn new stuff. So just learn your basics, and then everything else will come easy.
Don't you think it's a lot easier to be a utility player, meaning that coach is going to plug you in where necessary? You don't really take it that personal and say, oh, man, I'm being moved to this, to that. What's the challenge for that, and how do you adjust for that?
I just stopped thinking about what I want to do and what my team needs me to do. So, like, instead of thinking, oh, man, it'd be cool if I was doing this, I think it'd be more beneficial if I was doing this for my team. So just really getting rid of the personal aspect of it, like getting rid of the me and focusing on the we is probably the most important part of it, and the hardest part probably.
Gage, what's it like to follow in the footsteps of B.J. Palmer, who's every Friday made some electric plays, and yet we find out today, and this is the first I've heard of it, that you were the fastest team last year, including him. But now that Coach says you're going to be toting that rock a little bit more, are you ready to have that put on your shoulders?
Yeah, I'm ready. I got some big shoes to fill, but I think I can fill them.
What's it like for Walter's Friday night experience? I was there a couple of times, and it's very unique. I was there in the rain one after they had to move to a Saturday, and I just saw the team just loving it. Just even Coach got the water slide in it, it just kind of showed you the small town aspect of football. Tell us what it means to the community and what it means like playing in Walters on a Friday night.
The energy is high always, and most of the fans were in our shoes like previous years.
Grew up there. You like the guys in the blue and white? I don't know, what do you call those guys that dress up in the blue masks and the white masks and sit up in the top of the stands? You have a name for them? No?
Alan and Dylan is what we know them by.
Okay, there you go. We're gonna have to give them
trust me, they came and got some shoulder pads from me, some
Did they?
expired ones.
They're
gonna have a total new look
they're gonna
this year.
beef it up.
So
okay.
they're gonna look like the Road Warriors, I think, this year. So
I've seen them do that, like KISS uniforms with that. Yeah, I got you, the shoulder pads. All right, Walters Blue Devils. You got a lot on you, expectations, because the sleeping giant was awoke last year. You turned a lot of heads, and so there's going to be a lot of expectations for this team, especially after graduation. But we're looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, here's the thing that I'm going to share with the kids all year. We can't help who anybody else is. There's nothing we can do about Minko or Velma or anybody that we play. All we can control is how good we get, and that's what we're going to focus on each week.
All right. Walters Blue Devils, and I jokingly said to Coach Zoe, we got to save the best for last. The Lawton High Wolverines are in the house, and our El Toro Mexican Restaurant Media Day for the third annual Media Day will continue right after this on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Sidelined by surgery, illness, injury? Valor Physical Therapy can help. At Valor PT, our skilled therapists create a rehabilitation program individualized for you, with education and encouragement each step of the way. Whether it's sports or the activities of life, let Valor get you back in the game. Start now at 405-609-3637. No referral needed. Mention this ad and get a free t-shirt at your first appointment.
Well, I don't know about you. I'm ready for football, and this is our third annual of just getting all the teams together, 13 schools on the network. Glad to bring it to you home and away, plus playoffs, and we're very spoiled. We've got a lot of great talent, a lot of great eyeballs on our product because you guys are the product. You guys make us. You guys make the show, and so we appreciate that. So we're kind of saving the best for last, as I said, so Coach Zoe, for the Lawton High Wolverines, as we've got all three Lawton schools, plus Cash, Elgin, and Walters. Altus was the only team that had pre-commitments that could not make it today, so Coach Reed said he made his apologies, and we'll try to kind of make it up by getting something said from him. And then tomorrow, Friday, up at Buffalo Wild Wings in Del City, have an opportunity to see Midwest City, Del City, Carl Albert, Jones, Bethany, and Newcastle. And Newcastle's already started school, believe it or not. They're already in school in session. So El Toro, 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive. Lawton High Wolverines coach Zoe, we're going to say last year you were the new man up. Now we had Eisenhower new. You're not the new guy in the block anymore. What's the difference between last year and this year heading into this year?
Well, I mean, I don't know. First of all, I would say thank you to you. You do a great job with this deal. You know, OSN, it does a great job covering our kids and giving us a lot of great exposure. So I appreciate you guys. Appreciate, our media people, a lot of Constitution people. Man, y'all do a great job. So I appreciate y'all. It's really fun to be around and be down here and work with you guys. Even though you be interrupting my practices sometimes, that's okay. No, it's okay. No, yeah, man, this is year 2. Yeah, it's getting started, man. I'm ready for football, man.
Are you going to be basketball on? Last year that's what it was. You're going to say you're going to be basketball on turf. Is that going to be changed now that you've lost some of those seniors, or what?
Last year we had 28 seniors when I got to school. You know what I mean? I was so happy for 28 seniors, and then I was like, damn, we got 28 seniors. You know what I mean? So all them guys graduated. So we are not talented. Like we are very talented. We're a little different kind of talented this year, but it's not the same as it was last year. We don't have those high flying guys. We got more speed than I've ever coached before, probably, but not as many up in the air type dudes. So we will not be that same thing this year, but we will be fast, we'll be explosive, we'll be exciting to watch. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now.
What are you wanting to see most when you get to scrimmages from this team because it's so new? What are you wanting to get out of your first scrimmage to what to see?
Yeah, I mean we got over 100 kids on the football team, but we only got 8 seniors. You know what I mean? So we're pretty young. In the way of like age, but not in the way of football. So that's kind of the thing that we kind of spent the most time on this summer. This offseason is working on football, like just getting better at being football players type thing. So like learning the game, learning at a high level, being able to do things. We kind of probably way more far advanced than we was last year at this time. So when we get into scrimmages, I just kind of want to see the start of some discipline, the start of some precision, the start of some execution, like being able to do it the right way and do it the right way all the time. And every time. It's kind of what we're looking for right early.
Okay, and then before I don't want to take all of the questions, I get the Vlad Constitution and of course the TV station here. New uniforms. I noticed it out of the bat, and you said this isn't the only one. These are the home set right here. You guys can show up a little bit there. I like that with the black and the red. What made you do that, and what other combos do you have as far as jerseys?
Man, uniforms are fun, man. We live in a different kind of age. Back in the day, uniforms wasn't that big a deal, you know what I mean? So now the kids want to, they earned them. That's that kind of deal.
These swag.
These actually got donated to us by very generous boosters, so we appreciate that. The other sets we had come in, we moved to Midwest Sports, so we got Adidas uniforms now, so that's going to be pretty cool. But again, the kids earned them, man. I let them pick them out, let them kind of design them. A little bit more, flashy than I like, you know what I mean? But if whatever's going to make them play good, I don't care. We'll go out there in pink uniforms if that's what it takes to win games. So, yeah, we like to look good, though. I like to look good. I don't want to be looking bad, so,
No, not shabby. All right.
Yep.
Well, obviously, you mentioned younger kids, and I know you got a lot of young kids, and I think something that probably helped you is Central Middle School had their best year in quite a while.
Absolutely,
and you
yeah.
guys, I know I saw a receiver who's really a good receiver. How deep do you go with some of these younger kids? Are freshmen,
Man, listen.
going to see action for you?
Yeah, one thing about Coach Zoe that everybody knows is the best player is going to play. I don't care what grade you're in. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me at all. Production is what plays. So if you can produce, you're going to be on the field. We do have a few, probably 3 or 4 of those freshman kids that are going to play some significant time for us this year. So, we had a great offseason. I think our summer pride was probably one of the toughest ones I put a group through. They came out much better on the other side. You know what I mean? So when you start seeing some of these numbers pop up and the speed numbers and the strength numbers and the explosive numbers, I'd be a bad coach if I had good players like that sitting on the sideline. You know what I mean? So that really goes through our sophomore class, our junior class is really talented. That freshman class is going to be talented for a while. Unfortunately, we only got like 7 seniors, but again, those guys are talented. So this would probably be one of my most competitive fall camps that I probably ever had before, because it's like we told the guys, like we put a production chart up in the locker room. Hey, whoever's producing is going to play. We got way too much talent to not put people on the field. So we're gonna get an honest evaluation. We're gonna do it kind of like I did in college. We're gonna put the production points up every day. We're gonna grade it. We're gonna see what it looked like, and that can move. And if you earn the spot, you got to keep it. If you got your spot took, you got to go get one. So that's kind of what we're gonna do.
Obviously, losing that many seniors, leadership is a big
Right.
key. Who are some of the guys that are going to be leaders? These two, I guess you brought them.
Yeah, I brought. Yeah, we had the kids vote on captains before our night of champions. We had a big night. I know a lot of people do that now, where we have the big night where people lift weights, and we had I think 19 kids go over 225 in hand clean. We had 4 go over 245 in hand clean. So, or power clean. That was a big deal for us. Our 225 reps was up real high. But we before that we had the kids vote for captains, and we announced them at the end of the night of champions. So Bray Burrell and Hayden Graves was 2 of our guys. Ashton Lovell. Joseph Simpson was another one, and Raheem Elsie was the other one. So we got 5 guys that got voted captains. Bray actually got the most votes, so I don't know what happened with that deal. But again, when you put the kids in leadership situations, they start emerging a little bit. The coaches don't pick them. We want the kids to pick them, because if you're gonna follow somebody, it's got to be the guy that you want to follow. So, but then that also puts a lot of pressure on the guys that are getting followed. We got to do it right. You got to do it right every day. Everybody's got to see you doing it right. Can't have no reason to attack your character. So that's what we want to. That's kind of how we told those guys. We've already had our first leadership council meeting, and I think they're doing a really good job. I think the thing is, year one, it's kind of hard to get. The buy-in is kind of, everybody. You want to skip steps. So last year, I'm telling you guys, it was a lot of times in my mind, I'm like, I want to skip some steps so bad, because we got so much talent. I know these guys are leaving, but it's football, man. You can't skip steps. You got to do everything the right way. We started off 0-3 last year, and that looked tough to everybody. But in my mind, I'm like, our 0-3 look different than a lot of people's 0-3. We're getting better every week. Our first game, we started with 8 kids that never played football before. They were starting on the field, like on top 11, 22 guys. 8 of them didn't play football before. So, now that's not the case no more. So, again, people get drawn to production. The leadership's got to step up, and I think these guys are doing a great job. Yeah.
Really caught fire. How do you keep that going for the entire season?
Yeah, it's just about how you start. Again, we spend a lot of time trying to coach football during football season. A football coach is the people who know football kind of understand what I'm saying about that. Like, we got guys. This is a funny story, but we're in the middle of the Noble game, and we had a blitz. We calling this defense, and our 2 linebackers kept blitzing like every time, and the quarterback is scrambling to killing us. We on the sideline like, what are y'all doing? Y'all keep blitzing, and like, coach, on the game plan, it say blitz. I'm like, that's not what it says. So my defensive coordinator pulls the game plan out of his pocket. Like, he got it on him. Like, no, it don't. He said, yeah, right there. Like, both of them are pointing at these arrows, but they don't know the difference between dotted lines and straight lines. Like, dotted lines is the run fit. You know what I mean? That was our run fits. That's not a blitz. The solid line is a blitz. Like, oh. And then the second half of the game, we got better from that. So that's the kind of conversations we was having on the field. I mean, if we could have ran a blooper reel last year, y'all would have been cracking up like every game. It was something every game that was like that. Like, we had a kid to not catch a kickoff, and he was like, I didn't touch it. Like, bro, it's a live ball. As soon as it come out, past 10, it's like, but these are kids who never played football before. You know what I mean? So now we don't have to do that no more. And that's how we keep it going. And how we start now. Like, we took the kids up to Bixby, because my big thing has always been, go where the smoke is at and show them what it looked like. You know what I mean? So we took them to Bixby for team camp, which was crazy. I don't know why we did this, right? But we go up there, and we got Bixby, we got Broken Arrow, Edmond Memorial. We're talking about multiple-time state champions, multiple-time big powerhouse schools. East St. Louis came from Illinois, which is, if you ain't never seen those guys play, they get off the bus with 10 power forwards, and they best players, a freshman is going to be a sophomore next year. That's a 6'4", 215 running back running 10, 1 in 100. We don't got none of them kind of guys on our team, you know what I mean? So they odds is this big. They had 6'10" linemen, you know what I mean? A couple of them, not just 1 or 2. They got 3 players. It's the top 3 player in the nation, their position. These don't look like kids that we see every day, you know what I mean? But again, day 1, our odds are really big. Day 2, we pull them down a little bit. Day 3, we compete. So now they say, okay, well now, what's the next step? So I gave them an option. I said, hey, y'all want to go to Jinx for scrimmage? Yeah, let's do it. I'm like, y'all crazy, but so we're gonna go to Jinx for our preseason scrimmage and play Choctaw in our half game. That's a state championship team from last year. But again, get ourselves ready to compete at a high level. How do you do that? Well, you can't do it unless they see it. So I think going to Bixby made them really step up in the summer times. I'm like, these guys lift weights every day. They don't skip the weight room. They don't do none of that. Like they built the whole culture out the weight room. So we had the best numbers we ever had in Summer Pride, and everybody got better. So we starting off like that. So that's kind of what we're looking for right now.
For the two players, going to the Bixby camp, playing James, playing Choctaw, being kind of thrown into the fire. When the season starts, does that help y'all? I mean, y'all faced all this adversity, all this talent, then you go back down to 5A. Is that like a big adjustment for y'all?
I could say yes, it is. It helps at some points, and sometimes it don't, because like you don't see too many of those guys in the 5A. So seeing those 6A guys, the 6A state champs multiple times, yeah. But like with 5A, there is some guys that's like that too, that's not even 6A. So it just depends on who you're playing.
For me, really no, because at the end of the day, football is football. No matter the division, you can find anybody. So I just went out there and played, did what I had to do, make sure my team was good.
What do you think about Always Us thing? Was that something that you customized with the players voted on it, or how'd that all come about?
Well, that's kind of one of our sayings in our program, you know what I mean? It's because it's kind of one of those deals that, the we above me kind of mentality, you know what I mean? Because the way it goes is sometimes me, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's going to be me and sometimes it's going to be you, but it's always going to be us. So no matter if it's my turn to make a play, if it's my turn to block for somebody, sometimes it might be your turn to block for me type deal, but no matter what, it's always us. So that's kind of what we go by that pretty much every day.
What do you want to get out of this season, compared to coach's first year to this year? What are you looking most to see out of this team?
Really just, I say a lot of leadership and accountability. It's a football thing, of course, but it's a culture thing too. We all got to come together and have this thing down before the season starts. And during the season, I want to see some progress in the record and stuff. Of course, I want to win more games and stuff.
How do you best set the tone to be a team leader for underclassmen to look at you?
Setting an example, doing the right thing and no one's looking, holding them accountable when they're not doing the right thing, showing them what they got to do to be a leader whenever it's their time to step up.
Coach, I don't think I've ever asked this, but you already talked about best person on the field, which includes freshmen. You and I are old enough to talk about this conversation that I remember in 2000, for example, during the Sooners run, Jamal Brown and Antonio Perkins both went up and were redshirted, and they probably could have played. They went on in the NFL and had a career, but at that time, you didn't play freshmen. I mean, it's like you just don't play freshmen. What do you think has changed, not only the mentality with it, but why are 8th grade to freshmen already ready to play?
Well, I mean, I think in our program, and I think that the Lawton Public School District has done a great job of providing the head coaches with an opportunity to deal with our middle school kids earlier. So what that kind of did for us was we got a chance to get our hands on those guys early. We got them lifting earlier. They run our offense, they run our defense. You know what I mean? We get a chance to get out there and kind of get our hands on them a little early. So that situation kind of set us up for let's see what that looks like. Because we like you said, that group is super talented. I mean, we did a prospect sheet. The colleges want guys all the way down to 4th grade right now, see if they can offer somebody in 5th grade. But our prospect sheet for our freshman group, I mean, there's probably 18 kids on that list. That we can sit there, we can say, hey, these guys might have a legit chance of playing college football. You know what I mean? But I think they're more ready because they see it a little sooner. For us personally, I think our basketball program kind of put us in a situation where people can see things can change. We can do things and get somewhere that hasn't been got to before.
Playing for a state title for the first time since the 60s.
Yeah, and that I mean, at Lawton High specifically, I mean, that sparked a lot of things. I mean, our state, we went to track with 18 kids this year. Last year was 5. You know what I mean? We had a state champion. We had 6 or 7 All-Staters. You know what I mean? Kids start seeing our baseball team won more games than they won in a long time. Every program in our school is starting to change a little bit. And it's just getting the right people around them and getting to see them. So those young guys, man, they hungry. They see it. So, and I tell the older guys, hey, listen, I mean, because I was like that. I think I was the first freshman to play at Midwest City, to play significant time. I think I started the last 4 games of the season for them. I would have probably started the whole year. My mom wouldn't let me go up early. But I played the last 4 games this season. My sophomore year, I had a guy in front of me, and he ended up getting in trouble somewhere around. Something happened with him, and I got the start. And he never got the spot back. You know what I mean? And that's kind of been my mentality the whole time. If you're gonna be, Sheldon Williams played as a freshman in Midwest City. I've been we did. I've been around a lot of good players that played as freshmen, and got to be able to make it hot. So I'm not going to put guys on. My job is to play the best people. That's my job. You know what I mean? It's to provide. It's to make these guys better people when they leave me. You know what I mean? Hopefully, I told them when y'all leave me, it's a couple things and standards that I've been set forward that's going to make you kind of different when you leave. You know what I mean? But the one thing for sure you're going to know is competition is an everyday thing. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to go to this job interview and not know that 6 other people is trying to fight for this job. You don't know that person's fresh out of college or been doing it for 30 years. So you got to go in there and set yourself up to be successful. And I think that starts with football. I think it starts now. You got to do it now. And if the more the opportunity they get to compete like that, the better they're going to be when they got to go. When somebody hands them a kid out of the hospital and say, "Here you go take care of this." Like, ain't no book. They don't give you a book for that. They don't even teach you how to put this car seat in no more. I don't think. You know what I mean? Because it's just you got to be ready to go. And you got to be ready to compete at any moment. You got to be able to do it right all the time. You know what I mean? And you got to have you have great character to do it.
Coach, I'm ready. You got a headset. You got a
I
shoulder
look
pads
kind of
and helmet
right?
for me.
Yeah. I ain't shaved today, so my wife might think I look bad today, but
it's good.
Yeah, we ready to go, man. We excited about it. I was real quick shout out to our softball team. We got 30 girls playing softball this year. It's crazy.
Wow, and your daughter's part of that.
Yeah, two daughters. I got twins, so they out there, but they pitiful. I ain't worried about them. But the rest, Coach Davis doing a great job getting those girls out there. So we want to make sure we give her a little shout out. So that was kind of exciting to see that. You know, like I said, all our programs at Lawton House doing good. We just want to be one of the group, be one of the ones that started off strong.
Well, we're excited for football season for sure, and we're getting ready for it with the 13 schools that are in the network. Before I close out, I do want to say our passing and our condolences to the Rod Fisher family. Of course, Rod was a big legacy in this community. Of course, played at MacArthur, went on to OU, coached at Eisenhower for many, many years. His funeral was today. I know many in the athletics family were a part of that, and we want to wish their family the very, very best, and we want to remember him fondly with what he has provided in this community. These are names that we go back in the past that have influenced so many, and we want to be able to take advantage of that. So thank you very much. That kind of concludes. Save the best for last. That's it. Right. Coach Zoe, we're ready. 5A, you still like that? I know 6A2 was kind of that bounce back and forth. You got kind of used to, that 5A district on the other side where always say the other side for this me. Side for the car. That's you and Carl Albert.
Us, yeah, we in that that's thing. It. Yeah, Brett kind of set me up. Still ain't let him go yet. You know what I mean? No, listen. Our district's tough, but we got to worry about week 1, man. We got to get ready for Eisenhower,
and with that, you got your first taste last year.
Yeah,
you're looking forward to it. You know what it means for the community. What does that mean for you now in year number 2?
Hopefully, it means I go get some gas without nobody asking me why we didn't beat Ike. That's probably, you know what I mean? Go to Walmart and let's go to the movie theater and get some good ways. You know what I mean?
They remember that.
No, listen, I know it. I mean, this is Lawton is kind of one of those places that's kind of off in the bottom. Southwest Missouri or Southwest Oklahoma. You don't hear much about the Ike and Lawton High rivalry. Up in Moore and that kind of thing. Midwest City, Dell City's up there, more South, more Westmore's up there.
Yeah.
You obviously hear about the big East Side rivalries, but this one, man, is right up in there. So I don't know if anybody know about it enough to see it, but I'll tell you, I've seen it, so I know what it looked like now, and I gotta be ready for that. That's what we looking forward to.
When they put class reunions around that,
dude, listen, we lost the game. This is a real story. We lost the game. I'm upset about it. Right? I go usually if anybody's listening in the city council. Listen to me. We got to get a Waffle House, man. I need a Waffle House. I need it ASAP, okay? Because I got to have somewhere to eat after the game. But right now it's IHOP. I ain't talking too bad about IHOP, but come on.
I got you.
Waffle House is where we at. Okay. I go to IHOP, and the class reunion is at all the people that was at the class reunion is at IHOP. Boy, I walk in that mug, man. I was like, oh Lord. It was and there was a lot of people from my age group. You know what I mean? Like around the 2002, 2005 group, 20-year reunion type thing. And they just giving me the stankest eye. Like, what do you do? Like, how you lose? Like, and I got to get up in the middle of the IHOP and say, listen, people, I'm sorry, man. It was my first game. I messed it up. I'll do better next year type thing. So this is real. It's real. Like I said, I like the movies, go to the movie theater. The person that's giving my popcorn is asking me, why are we going to be like this year? I go to Casey's and get some gas, and somebody's asking, I'm supposed to get some air in my tire yesterday. A guy asked me, hey, Coach, how you doing? Doing good. Hey, we're going to be able to be like this year? Yeah, hey, we'll see, man. Like, they got a good team, so we got to go out there and be ready to compete.
All right, we'll have that circled on week 1 or week 0 for us as well. Okay, that concludes this third annual Media Day. I want to thank Joey Goodman from the Lawton Constitution, James Wicks from Channel 7, also part of this and the Oklahoma Sports Network. 13 schools in the network have all the games home and away plus playoffs. And then tomorrow you can tune in for our Mid-Del Oklahoma City Region Media Day, which will have Midwest City, Del City, Carl Albert, Jones, Bethany, and Newcastle. All 6 of those. That will be at 3 o'clock. So on the Facebook Live and on YouTube, make sure you download our app. Make sure you stay connected, and we'll bid you a final adieu from the Mexican Restaurant Bar and El Toro at 1320 Northwest Homestead Drive. You've been watching a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.